And now, The View from Washington, an explanation of U.S. policy.
The news that Chinese human rights lawyer Wang Quanzhang has been reunited with his family in Beijing is welcome. The Chinese Communist Party unjustly detained Mr. Wang for 5 years before releasing him on April 5th under international pressure. But for weeks he was barred from traveling to Beijing and seeing his wife and child. Mr. Wang was arrested in the sweeping roundup of more than 300 human rights lawyers and legal associates that began July 9, 2015, as Chinese President Xi Jinping clamped down on China's peaceful civil society. As a human rights lawyer, Mr. Wang for years defended poor villagers in land rights cases, as well as members of Falun Gong, a peaceful group that the Chinese Communist Party has persecuted for decades. As Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said, human rights are at the core of what we believe as Americans.
But we all know the rights of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness don't just belong to Americans, they belong to everyone, everywhere.
In a written statement in which the United States urged China to allow Mr. Wang's freedom of movement, U.S. State Department spokesperson Morgan Ortagus also said that the United States continues to call for the release of all of those unjustly detained, such as human rights attorneys Li Yuhan and Yu Wenzhong, as well as other Chinese citizens who are in detention simply for exercising their human rights and fundamental freedoms in pursuit of a more equitable and just society governed by the rule of law.
That was The View from Washington, an explanation of U.S. policy.